Jaiden Animations. Look, 10.9 million subs, nearly 11 million subscribers. If we look at her YouTube channel, you can see she makes animation videos, and they get a good amount of views, and she's pretty popular. She doesn't upload very often, though, because animation's very hard on YouTube, and animation YouTubers get criminally underpaid in ad revenue by YouTube because they don't upload often. They put out quality over quantity, usually, and YouTube doesn't reward that, so they usually get just criminally underpaid to the extent unless they open up a Patreon, they can't afford to do this for a living, even if each of their videos that they put out per month get millions of views. That is how bad YouTube is. You can't just live on like 14 million views a month, like at a certain standard of living. Like you're gonna have to push it further. So yeah, art like YouTube and animation YouTube, I obviously have like a ridiculous amount of respect for it. I think it's probably like one of the most high effort and respectable forms of content on this platform. It should go without saying that I like it, Jaiden Animations. I'm subbed to her. I don't have the bell icon rung. I mean, I will, I guess. I mean, I like her content. Ironically enough, the only real discussion that's become relevant about Jaiden Animations as of late has been like and let's be real, we've all heard about it, the super duper weird Rule 34 community like sort of built around her. It's been one of those things that she's just kind of tried to not think or talk about in her videos or in her content, but you can tell it probably bothers her. But there is a whole cavalcade of fucking weirdos on the internet that make Rule 34 of her, and it's like, here's the thing. When it's fictional characters, that's one thing, but like, if it's just some YouTuber on the internet and you're making like animated porn of them without their permission or consent, we're crossing really uncomfortable lines. I feel like we've agreed at this point that that's just not something that we want to encourage, you know? Like I feel like with Dreams community we dealt with this, like the shippers and Dreams community, people shipping him with like his friends and stuff, and how kind of weird it got. Regardless, that was like my most of the knowledge, most of the stuff I've heard about her in like the mainstream recently. However, this video called Being Not Straight, I wonder what this will be about, has 4.5 million views. It was uploaded yesterday, and it is #1 on trending. Goddamn. Let's go ahead and watch. You guys all fucking spoiled it for me and revealed she comes out as ace / aromantic. Ace and or aromantic. I actually don't know specifically. I didn't know what she was coming out as, but you guys spoiled it for me. So thanks, chat.
Before I even say anything, let's lay out some ground rules. This is probably gonna be the most open I'll ever get about my personal life. I know I've shared tidbits of myself and life through little stories, but when it comes to personal stuff, I'm very private. Especially within the past few years. I'm gonna be talking in very general surface level terms because specific personal details are for me to know, and in the nicest way possible, none of your business. Basically, this is something I want to talk about, share, and bring a spotlight to. But at the same time, you get the Cliff Notes version. So no trying to assume or guess anything beyond what I'm sharing within this video. At the end of the day, we're all just strangers refusing to listen to the stranger danger rule. Alright, formality
is a very well-made video. Oh yeah, Jaiden Animations might be like one of the highest quality animators on YouTube. Like, if Jaiden Animations put like a whole year of dedicated 100% of her effort work into like a 1-minute animation, it could probably be like just astounding looking. The problem is YouTube and doing this for a living means that Jaiden Animations has to stretch her admittedly enormous talent across a fairly decent length. Basically, she has to upload like at least a 10 to 15 minute video for it to be like worth even making. And it has to be like within like a month of turnaround from the last video. If I look at her like schedule, I don't know if she gets any help, but regardless of that, clearly a ridiculous amount of talent and hard work goes in these videos. Irrelevant to the main point of the video, but I do think it's worth saying because I really do think the animation community on YouTube deserves more gassing up because they deal with the absolute worst shit end of the stick as far as YouTube is concerned. Despite their content being some of the best you'll find on YouTube, it is the least rewarded by YouTube.
Qualities aside, let's get into it. I've come to realize that I'm ARO-ACE, which stands for aromantic asexual. And I know what you're thinking.
God, I wish. Can you imagine how much fucking less drama I would have in my life if I was both aromantic and asexual? Holy shit. That would be like Sigma grind. I'd be living the Dexter lifestyle. Listen, me and Lonnie have been watching through Dexter. It's my first time watching it. We're on season 2 now. And like, if that show was made today, I feel like they would have all just figured, oh, Dexter could have just said he was asexual, and everyone would have been like, oh, that's cool. The whole Rita storyline and him having to figure out how to pretend to like sex or be interested in sexual intercourse wouldn't have had to happen because he would have just he would have probably realized he was asexual, and or he would have just been able to use that as an excuse, if anything. Please stop, you sound like BoJack. What? I refuse to finish Dexter. I heard that the spin-off show is good, so that's what's going to make me finish it. I'm in season 2, though, so the show is very good where I am. I heard the show doesn't get bad until, like, season 6. I heard that's when it gets, like, really, really bad. Season 6 or 7.
That's not gay. What the hell is that? And you know what? That is completely
Yes, it
fair
is.
because I didn't know what that was either. Aromantic and asexual are two different things, and I'm gonna break them down to you separately, starting with
Okay. Chat, can we all agree? Gay just means not straight. Okay. At this point, functionally, the way that like the gay community uses it at this point, the LGBT community uses it at this point, it feels like gay just means like you're not straight, you know? It seems to be used that way broadly, you know? Like fuck it, gay or queer. Queer also works as well. It's just that some people don't feel comfortable saying it because it used to be a slur. Thankfully for me, I never really heard that word as a slur much, so it kind of just doesn't have the connotation as bad for me, so I don't have an issue with the whole reclamation thing with that.
aromantic because no one really knows what that one is. And also, it's my personal favorite. Someone who's aromantic is defined as a person who feels very little to no romantic attraction to anyone at all. So like, they might not develop crushes on people or feel the need to be in a romantic relationship with anyone. Very general terms, but hopefully you kind of get the gist. If not, here's a little story example from me. Growing up, I never developed crushes on anyone. I remember when I was in 5th grade, kids were talking about their crushes left and right, and it was starting to feel like something I had to experience too, just because I thought that's just what happens. Don't make fun of 9-year-old me, I was a sheep. Anyway, I decided I needed to have a crush because that's just what happens to people. And I very robotically chose this random kid in the class who we can call Pikachu. That's not his name. He didn't mean anything to me and I didn't do anything about this crush. Like, I didn't tell anyone or anything. It was just a headcanon thing for me to feel up to speed and like I was hitting my normal human.
I did a very similar thing. Wait, is this like a real thing? Just like pretending to have a crush? Jesus. Makes you feel normal? Listen, okay? There's nothing normal about it. Being based isn't normal. You're based, okay? Being based is not normal, all right? So it's not normal because you're based. And if people think it's not normal, you tell them to seethe, okay? You tell them to seethe and cope and choke on your asshole. That's what you do.
An emotions quota. But it's funny because on Valentine's Day, you know how in elementary school everyone would bring cheesy Walmart Valentine's cards for everyone in the class and then you'd have a box full of candy and hollow emotions from everyone? Well, my school did that. When I went through my box, I pulled out Pikachu's Valentine and thought to myself, someone who...
Can I tell you one of my black pill moments, chat? Let me tell you guys one of my black pill moments. When I was in 5th grade and it was Valentine's Day, the teacher handed out cards so that everybody could like sign a card and give it to somebody with like a candy attached to it, like their Valentine or whatever, right? And teacher handed those out and everybody got one but me. Some people got 2, some people got 3, some people got 1. I got 0. And I was a little upset about it. Not as upset at the time because I didn't really understand the connotation of that. But then the teacher ended up mandatorily making it so that everybody had to write a Valentine to everybody in the class. And there were like 24 students in the class, which meant everybody had to write 24 Valentines, including me. And then it meant nothing anymore. And so it just made the whole class angry at me. Or 23, yeah. The whole class would have to write 23, yeah. So that made everybody super pissed at me. And it didn't mean anything when I did get, 23 Valentines, because it was just like, oh, they were all forced to write this, and they all wrote it in the sloppiest handwriting for mine, because I was like technically the one that resulted in them having to all sit down for another like 10 minutes and write out more another 24 or something more Valentines. Yeah, it was a black pill moment for me.
Who has a crush on someone would keep this, I think. So I put Pikachu's copy-paste Batman Valentine in my drawer and promptly forgot about it because it meant nothing to me, but hey, that's just what I thought I was supposed to do. Man, I'm so good at this. Then like a year or so later, when my mom was going through my room, she pulled out the card and was like, "Why do you have this?" And I was like, honestly, I have no idea. Years passed, I entered junior high and thought to myself, all right, this is the time where people start developing crushes and then do something about it, like get into relationships or something. So I was like preparing to be interested in people. On the first day of school, I scoped out the room to see if there was anyone that I thought looked like someone I could develop a crush on. And this was when classes started being divided up into periods, so there were like 6 batches of people I sifted through. But no one caught my eye, and I thought, man, unlucky. Went through the whole school year, next year rolled around, classes changed, I did the same potentials crush scoping again, and the same thing happened. I wasn't drawn to anyone at all. Man, unlucky again. Every year.
Like, if you could have this as like an ability that you could toggle, it would actually make you superhuman. Like, imagine if you could voluntarily turn on and off your ability to feel any romantic or sexual attraction. Holy shit. Obviously, you can't do that when it's your sexuality and you're born that way. But imagine if you could become Ace and just be like when you're like in your Sigma mode, like if you're at like a Sigma point in your lifetime, you can, like in your lifestyle, you just be like, all right, I need to focus on work and school or something. I need to not date or party and get drunk and like have lots of sex with women. So I'm just gonna turn off. I'm going to become asexual and aromantic and focus on the grind for a few years. Like, that would be powerful.
I thought something would change, especially going into high school when people started actually hitting puberty and were getting conventionally attractive. But my entire school life, grades kindergarten.
No, it doesn't work that way. That you still feel the desire to see booba, okay? To turn off the desire to see booba would be an extraordinary ability. For booba and titty and ass to have no power over me would be like being unshackled from my earthly mortal flesh.
To senior year, which I'm pretty sure is like 13 years, I wasn't interested in a single person throughout any of it. And what's funny,
Xanderhal, please stop for ace people. Oh my god, you guys are so fucking sensitive sometimes. Why do you watch my content? I'm actually curious. Why do you watch my content? I should ban you. I should actually ban you. Because nobody who's ace in my chat was complaining until you dropped that comment. Funnily enough. Unless you're ace. But for ace people, so it sounds like you're speaking for ace people here. Please stop talking about how asexuality is a superpower, all of you. I was complaining. Alright, let's continue.
As I was thinking, man, what's the deal? Why is no one attractive? And I went to a big high school. There were like 3,500 students.
I'm not angry. It's just that if this is going to like piss off them, then like they're gonna just end up turning on me and being pissed off by like some joke I make in the future. If me making a joke about asexuality being a superpower is going to trigger them, they're not going to fit in here. Okay, they're trouble waiting to happen. Okay, they're one based takeaway from losing their mind at me in my chat, okay? I'm just getting ahead of the curve. The movement waits for nobody. The Xan Renaissance waits for nobody, okay? We can't let them hold us back, chat. We have to keep moving. We have to keep barreling on to success. We can't let them hold us back.
Students there. Surely I am not the outlier in this formula. Why are none of you attractive? By the time I was going to
Funny, I can't debate someone on why jokes are funny, okay?
college, I really felt like I had to find someone. It felt like I was falling behind the curve, or if I was gonna find someone, it was gonna have to happen now. I made a lot of new friends, and that's when I thought I developed my first genuine crush. Long story short, in hindsight, no, it wasn't a crush, and I was just wrong. I just met someone who I thought was cool and funny and had a really strong desire to be close to them. But looking back, knowing what I do now, it wasn't in a romantic way. I realized I can get very excited and tunnel vision on people I think are really cool or interesting, and kind of obsess over
this also has to be like a pain in the ass, though. As I said before in the joke that I made, this would be a superpower if you could turn it on and off. Being ace and living in a society that up until, I'm just gonna say just now even, like just nobody knows what asexuality or aromantic is. I'm sorry, but like if you're not on the internet, you probably haven't heard of it. And that's really bad. Like, how many ace or aromantic kids are there growing up, going to school, feeling like they're freaks or not normal or not like everyone else because they just don't feel the same way as other people do their age. And there's just no cultural sort of prevalence of the idea of being asexual or aromantic as there is for being gay, for example, or being trans even. Like, it's just not on the same level, you know? Can confirm I thought I was an alien / robot / inhuman monster. Honestly, though, if I thought I was an alien or a robot, I'd be like, that'd kind of boost my ego a little bit. No, but it's got to be confusing and very stressful, not knowing like what you are. Like that's the thing, really. Like at the end of the day, it's because the rest of the world has decided that there aren't enough of you to make the information about what you are prevalent to you. That's really the only way to describe it, right? If you're like asexual and you've never heard of it, because like it's just not talked about, as like the world has decided that there are not enough asexual or aromantic people for knowledge about them to be relevant enough for asexual people to know that they exist. And it's a really unfortunate reality. And I'm glad that videos like this exist to raise awareness about it. I'm also extraordinarily glad that it's #1 on trending, because this shit like this is how you solve the problem of middle school and elementary schoolers feeling like they're a freak because they don't have crushes like the other kids do, you know, and experiencing possible, like Font Knight said, possible permanent psychological damage can be had from this, right? Like, just making this more of a thing that like young people are aware of alone will help so many people. And this video alone, I think, will help so many people.
Getting to know them or just want to spend a lot of time with them. But whenever I got into those tunnel vision moments, if I sat down and asked myself if I actually wanted to be in a relationship with them and hold hands or cuddle or kiss, the answer was not really. But if they wanted to, I could go along with it, which I do not think is right. In my very old flirting video, which I refuse to rewatch, I think at one point in it, I said something along the lines of, if you're interested in someone but they just want to be friends, I don't understand why some people can't deal with that. And that was primarily because I didn't realize there was an emotional difference between a crush or falling in love and just being really good friends with someone. So, oops. Sorry for the bad take, I think. I really just thought having a crush on someone was wanting to be their #1 best friend.
That is so wholesome. I'm sorry. Maybe this is insensitive of me to say, but that is the most wholesome thing I've ever heard. And my mood has been lightened significantly having heard it.
Look, Look, I said don't make fun of me. To me, it used to feel like if I was wanting to become friends with someone to that high of a degree, that would be the next step or justify why I wanted to put this much time, effort, and energy into one person. And it didn't feel right or even fair going through all of this with someone and then tell them they're just a friend. I don't know, it just didn't feel like it made sense, even though I really didn't technically see them in a romantic way. I just didn't understand what was going on really, or that there was supposed to be real emotions instead of a logical understanding of steps. And the fact that I was under the assumption that I was supposed to be interested in people in a romantic way didn't help with anything. I always preferred to stay good friends, but never felt like I could have that, and I worried that if I said no, that we would just start drifting apart, which I obviously didn't want either. It's been a very long journey discovering this about myself. Everything I'm saying has all been extremely subconscious and not understood or defined for many years. I even used to think I was bi or pan for the longest time because I would think to myself, well, bi is being interested in both genders. I don't really care for either, but 0 is equal to 0, so I guess I'm bi or pan. I got math involved. If I knew it...
Yeah, so, yeah, you guys know what I mean, right? Like even if you know that there are like the LGBT exists, you know that there are gay people or bi or pan people, even then, like you might not be able to realize that you're ace, right? Yeah, like we got to spread the awareness, my dudes.
Aromanticism was when I was growing up, things would have been a lot less complicated for me a lot sooner. I think it's mainly because people don't really talk about it or even know what it is or that it's real. Romance and love is the #1 most talked about topic on the planet. Everything I've been taught or learned through society is that love and romance is everywhere. Everyone feels it, and it's gonna happen to you. Just a funny little note, there was a point where I was listening to some generic romance song on the radio. You know, like all of them. And I just suddenly thought to myself, wait, do people actually feel these things towards each other? Like all these mushy lyrics are real emotions? They're not joking? And that's when I started feeling like something was different. I approached romance under the blanket term thought of, sure, why not?
This is an extraordinary way to explain it as well. Holy fuck. All right, we gotta talk about something, chat. We got to talk about something that's like a consistent variable in YouTube content creation, okay? Large content creators with a significant audience, when they come out as LGBT, their coming out video has to serve simultaneously, or they feel as if, and it almost always ends up being, simultaneously a coming out video, as well as a, hold on, I have to explain to my audience what all of this means really quick. Because some percentage of the audience is going to be confused, or not get it, or be hateful, or need to have it explained to them. It's just kind of sad that if you're a large content creator and you come out as LGBT, it seems like your coming out post or video has to like also be an educational like documentary to explain to people. I'm not saying it's not a good thing that that's what that is. I'm just saying it's sad that it has to be that, you know? It's sad that like if Jaiden didn't just explain what this meant, like then it wouldn't work, you know? Like it's sad that she has to do that. The way society structures love and relationships between humans, and it causes us ace arrow people, it fucks with us ace arrow people especially. Yeah, I don't really ever pay attention to lyrics and music much. I have done it more lately, so maybe I'll start to notice it now like more, but I just never really paid attention to like the meaning of the lyrics and music. I mostly just paid attention to like the lyrics and how it sounded, you know? More recently I've started like looking at lyric videos for songs I like and trying to figure out the story. Because I didn't previously do that much, but yeah, I've started to try to figure out the story of songs more often. Especially since a lot of music, you can't necessarily get you can't necessarily get the lyrics 100% right just from your ear. Sometimes words blend together or sound weird or pronounced weird or are broken up in weird syllables to make it sound nice, and so it can be hard to understand. So just hearing a song you've heard a million times, then seeing the subtitles and seeing like the lyrics and realizing, oh, wait, the lyrics are totally different than what I thought. It happens.
And didn't recognize it was actually a feeling, which might sound stupid, but look, I don't know. No one presented me with any other options. I did a lot of rationalizing. If someone ever expressed romantic interest in me, I would mentally make a kind of logical list of their pros and cons and the pros and cons of what a relationship would look like with them based on what I knew about them as a person. I didn't realize there was supposed to be an extra, excited feeling, or the fact that you're not supposed to think about it as if it were a business exchange. I understand compatibility is a huge important variable when it comes to sharing a relationship with someone, but at the end of the day, it's still a very emotionally driven thing. And I literally had to make that discovery and teach it to myself. Now, I'm gonna talk about being asexual very briefly, and I'm gonna preface it with, let's all just be mature about this, all right? We're all pretending to be adults here. I've got my eye on some of you. Behave. Okay, this is definitely treading into uncomfortable personal boundary territory for me, but yeah, I do want to share that I'm asexual too, which is defined as someone who feels little to no intimate attraction to anyone. Look, I know we said we're all adults, but I'm still gonna dance around the vocabulary, all right? Yes, YouTube there's a difference between romantic and intimate attraction. Little side note, I will say you can experience romantic attraction to someone, but no intimate attraction. Or you can experience intimate attraction, but no romantic attraction. You can be one and not the other. It's not necessarily a package deal. Most people feel both, and I do not feel either. Anyway, I have never been magnetically attracted to the look or shape of a single person in my entire life, and didn't.
That is a really it is interesting to me, the idea of particularly asexuality. Aromanticism is a little more understandable to me. I can understand aromanticism. I can imagine what it would be like to be aromantic way more than I can imagine what it would be like. Yeah, I can't really imagine a world in which I look at Big Booba and don't think, ooh, Booba. You know? I can't do it. I can't.
Not realize it was a real thing until very recently. I'm able to identify when someone looks conventionally attractive, by textbook definition, but I never realized people are genuinely drawn to people they think are attractive. I didn't know that people could just see someone and be like, wow, they're gorgeous. I would love to get to know that person, or maybe go on a date with them, or whatever else you people do. I didn't think it was real. I thought people were exaggerating or something. I don't know. And I also couldn't believe that some people feel that with multiple people. Or celebrities, which sounds absolutely exhausting. It ties back to when I was in school, looking around for people to like. It makes sense now that no one caught my eye because that doesn't happen to me. I was just wasting my time for 13 years. I feel like such a fool. Now, there's an easy assumption to make about asexual people and that they all have zero interest in being intimate with anyone at all, which actually isn't true. Some of them are genuinely turned off by it, and some aren't. Some reasons would be that they just don't mind it, or they...
This is the part of sexuality that gets really complicated, because brace yourselves, hang on, I'm about to hit you with a based fucking take. Sexuality is on a spectrum. It is, yeah. Sexuality is on a spectrum. Some people are just a little gay. You know, just a little gay. Just a little bit gay. Some people are just a little ace. Maybe just a little ace, just a little bit, or a little aromantic. Maybe just a little, just as a treat, just a little bit, you know, or very much so, possibly very much so, you know. It's a spectrum, you see.
want to make their partner happy or enjoy the emotional closeness.
Xander, you saying you're a little gay? No, I'm on the all the way on the straight end of the spectrum. Like when you imagine the spectrum and there's like the straight end, I'm all the way like at the hard limit of the straight end.
Of it. There's a million different reasons and a million different people. Am I sharing what kind of a people I am? Nope. And you don't know me personally enough in the slightest to be able to try and parasocially analyze where I stand on that spectrum. I'm just here to say I am this. We are moving on. When I stumbled onto the term aro ace and started realizing I fall into that category, it helped me feel much more confident and sure of myself. I've read
It's almost like I said before. We gotta spread the word, spread the awareness, okay? Not a child in the world should be unaware of what asexuality is. Just in case if they are ace, they know what's up, and they don't feel like they're a fucking freak or anything.
Read a lot about how people say they felt broken or that something was wrong with them. But honestly, I was the complete opposite. Coming from my very biased perspective, I think aro ace is one of, if not the coolest and most confident orientations out there. Not needing a single gram of romantic or intimate value.
That's what I was saying! I stand by the bans so much harder now. Holy fuck, I'm so glad I banned those two fucking idiots now. Because even she goes on in the video to say, oh yeah, it's the fucking Sigma orientation, it's like a superpower. I actually fucking hate these woke skull types. The fact that they have the fucking gall to talk shit in the chat when 5 minutes later in the video, this is what happens. Jesus Christ.
Validation from anyone is so cool. All you need is yourself to be happy, maybe friends and family too, and birds. The more I came to terms with the fact I'm aro ace, the more empowered and capable I felt. But at the same time, I was also starting to feel more alone and isolated. As cool and amazing and unique and awesome as I think it is, it can be really hard for other people to relate to or even understand. Everyone else and their orientations are able to bond and relate to the love and romance aspects, and we're over here like, we don't do that. I don't even know if I'm explaining it very well. It kind of does go against everything everyone's ever been taught about anything. Romance is taught to be a basic assumed emotion, which I do think is a bit misleading. A common argument used against the aro ace orientation is that romance and intimacy is what makes someone human. But I mean, I don't know.
Well, I'd have a hard time finding any medical professional who agrees with that one.
Lots of birds mate for life, which is a better ratio than people, and all animals get frisky. You know, that's just how they became not extinct. It's not an exclusive to humans thing. If I were to guess, I would assume the thing that makes someone human is basic empathy. Like, I'm not an emotionalist monster. I can still love people. I love my family and my pets, just platonically. And I would hope that you're the same. I just don't experience romantic love, which...
Listen. Back where I come from, right? There's a reason why reverse cowgirl's illegal. Because you never turn your back on family, brother.
I don't know. I don't think that's harming anyone. Definitely not me. I'm having the time of my life. I don't think you need to be in a relationship to be happy. And if you don't want to be just on your own, I think there's many types of people in relationships that push the boundaries of what a conventional relationship looks like. Telling someone that they need to be in a romantic relationship to be happy and fulfilled is weird. And then when that person says they're not happy, they're told relationships take a lot of work and that's just how it goes.
True.
And that's also weird. I don't know. I also think it's weird that once someone reaches a certain age, people inherently start thinking it's sad they're not in a romantic relationship or assume they're lonely and sad. No one thinks a child is sad and lonely just because they're not in a long-term relationship. I don't know. I don't get it. And I also think I'm rambling. At the end of the day, it's all very complicated to talk about these things, especially because I don't know the feelings I'm supposed to be feeling, let alone talk about. I just know for me, the terms aromantic and asexual are able to articulate things I was subconsciously feeling and thinking before I even realized I was feeling and thinking them. I don't plan on talking about this very much, if at all, ever again. I just want to play my silly little video games, maybe tell a story here or there. But I wanted to bring the orientations to the the surface and try to get more representation out there, because I thought if I could help more people become more aware of this, then that would be awesome. I was confused as hell for a while and could have used something like this. It's a real thing. You don't have to feel any sort of romance or whatever to be considered a real person. Personally, I think it's really cool and badass. And don't be afraid to look more.
Okay, I just want to say, this video reached 4.5 million people in the last day. At least one of those 4.5 or almost 4.6 million people saw that video, and then after it was finished, they were like, okay. Oh. Brain blast moment, yeah. At least one person had that experience.
Into aromanticism or asexualism if any of what I said in this video resonated with you to any degree. Like I said, this is all very surface level stuff. They're both much larger spectrums than you'd think, and maybe you fall under some umbrella category with them. I don't know, or not. Either way,
True,
this has all
better
been my
education
personal
than Florida
experience with
sex
this
ed public
stuff.
school.
Is there more for me to figure out within it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is. It can get pretty complicated and confusing. Haha, awesome. Will I be sharing any of that with you? Nope, no way. This is all you get. Hope you can understand even just a little of what I talked about. And if not, that's totally fine. I just hope you can be nice.
Thanks for
better
listening.
be.
I never really intended on making this video because I haven't really felt a strong urge to, like, I don't like using this phrase for myself, but come out. But I did end up wanting to make the video to make people more aware of this stuff because I think it's important, and someone has to. There's not really that many people doing it right now. Anyway, yeah, just moving forward, I guess.
What a wholesome video. What a wholesome video. I'm so glad that it seems like it's getting like universally and unanimously positive response, if I can see that. Yeah, 691,000 likes. I wonder how many dislikes it has, or if dislikes are even on to begin with, because YouTubers themselves can turn off dislikes, so people can't even dislike a video. I'd hope that there's not very many dislikes. I have a feeling there's at least some. 14K dislikes. Yeah, apparently it's 14,000 dislikes to 700,000 likes. So pretty good, but like, as you can tell, you know, the fact that that many people were exposed to this video and responded to it positively. Like the fact that 700,000 people who watch a normie, I'm not trying to be mean, but a non-political content creator, by all means, were so respectful and amiable to Ace Arrow identity, which is, let's be real, to many people, a very foreign, new sexual identity to them that they'll have just heard about for the first time, possibly because of this video or just recently. The fact that it's been so positively, received is amazing, and I'm so glad. And videos like this, as much as I'm sad that they kind of have to exist the way that they do, they kind of have to be an educational documentary, not just a, hey, I'm coming out video. It's kind of sad that they have to be that, but regardless, I'm glad that it was that and that it had such a positive effect. Representation like this is important because, like I said before, how many young Ace Arrow teens or whatever watch this video and then we're like, oh, that's what it was, and now they realize it, now they get it, you know? No doubt, plenty. No doubt, plenty. That was a great video. With all that said, if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, subscribing, ring the bell icon on my channel if you enjoyed it, and, following my social media link down below. You can also support me financially through the links in the description, including donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub to my website, xanderhal.com/live. You can also donate to me on YouTube, Twitch, through Streamlabs, or through Patreon. So no matter how you support me, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and have a good one.